What's up, horror fanatics? Welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into today's absolutely bone-chilling story, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell because trust me, you're going to need more stories like this to keep you up at night. So guys, often in life, you make certain decisions that seem absolutely right in the very beginning. You think, this is going to change my life, but not in a good way. Never in a good way. It's going to change everything for the worse. I want to share something personal with you today. My team members and I, we're all sitting here right now. We often joke around when we're talking about ghosts, spirits, and paranormal stuff. We'll crack jokes in between videos, you know? But when we talk about this particular entity that we're going to discuss today, nobody jokes around. Nobody. We read the script exactly as it is. Everyone sits completely still, no goofing off, nothing. Because we have to respect this thing, or rather, we have to fear this thing. And that's absolutely necessary, because there is no entity more evil, more dangerous than this particular entity. And if you've watched my older videos, you might remember this same entity was encountered a few years ago by Michael and Megan, who moved to Detroit. And after what they experienced there, their entire family was destroyed. Their sleep was gone. They couldn't rest at night. They were constantly terrified. But now it's your turn to hear their story. Alright guys, so this story begins with Michael, his wife Megan, and his parents. They had been living in Los Angeles for many years. Michael had built up a really successful business in the textile industry. He had made a name for himself, had full respect in the LA business community. He was completely settled there. But then, out of nowhere, disaster struck. His factory in Riverside caught fire. One particular factory just went up in flames, and after that fire, his entire life was destroyed. His entire business was gone. He tried to start over again, but he didn't have any money left. He had no other option but to ask for loans. Since he had built up a good reputation in the industry, everyone gave him loans. He tried for a while to get back into business, but he just couldn't make it work. All the money he invested just sank without a trace. The people who had loaned him money were patient for a while. They understood that his money had been lost. But of course, they had taken money out of their own pockets to help him, so eventually they started asking for at least the interest back or some kind of payment. But honestly, Michael didn't have a penny to his name. He made a decision. He was going to leave Los Angeles and go back to his hometown, Detroit. He sold everything he had and headed to Detroit with his family. Guys, he took a lot of stuff with him, but the one thing eating at his mind was, I've been living in Los Angeles for years. Can I really go back to living in my childhood hometown of Detroit? He arrived in Detroit with whatever money he had left. As soon as Michael got to Detroit, the first thing he did was call a real estate agent and say, I need a house as soon as possible where a family of 4 can live. Is that possible? The agent said, yeah, that's possible. We can get you something. We just got a house available. But it's not really suitable for 4 people to live in. Michael asked, can 4 people sleep there? Oh yeah, absolutely they can sleep there. But it's not really suitable for 4 people to live comfortably. Michael said, I don't care. If it's within my budget, I need it. They discussed the budget and everything was settled. As soon as Michael walked into the house, he saw that it was completely run down and old. The walls were completely black and rotting. The paint was peeling off like old skin. It looked like this house had either been closed for years, or nobody had maintained it, or maybe the house was just naturally like this. But still, he said, I don't have any other option. I need it. And the owner was really strange too. He didn't discuss rent, the agent didn't ask for brokerage fees, they didn't even ask for a security deposit. He just picked up the keys, handed them to Michael, and walked away. They started living there. Michael's parents felt really sorry for him because he wasn't used to living in places like this. But he was making a huge sacrifice. Anyone could see that his situation was heartbreaking. Michael, who once ran his entire textile business empire, was now working at just a normal hardware store in Detroit. Not even as an owner, just as an assistant. He was doing helper work while his family stayed in that house. His parents stayed home all day, and Megan stayed home all day too. One day, Michael came home and in the very first week, Megan told him something shocking. Megan said, there's something really weird about this neighborhood. Whether it's day, afternoon, evening or night. As soon as our door opens, everyone else's doors close. Whenever I go outside, if there's anyone around, they run away. And whenever I turn around to go back into the house, I feel like someone is watching me from outside. And Michael, you know that balcony area we have next to the kitchen? We didn't put a proper door there, we just hung a thin curtain, just a thin sheet. And I constantly feel like someone is watching me through there. And not just watching me, they're laughing at me. Laughing at our situation, maybe because we're poor now. I don't like any of this. Something could be very wrong here. There are sounds in this house that weren't in our LA house, or even when we first came to Detroit. But ever since we moved into this house, everything has changed. Michael said, "That can't be right. Our house is right next to the street. Maybe it's just the noise from the neighborhood, all the commotion from outside coming into our house. Maybe it's all just in your head." Megan replied, "Michael, I know very well the difference between normal sounds and terrifying sounds. I can tell the difference. Now, there was this one night when everyone in the house was asleep. It was midnight. Megan and Michael used to sleep together on the floor, and there was a small bed where his parents slept. Megan suddenly woke up in the middle of the night. She reached her hand over toward Michael, but he wasn't there. She figured maybe he went to the bathroom. Then she looked toward the kitchen area, and through the curtain she could see that he was standing there, talking to someone. This struck her as really odd because they didn't talk to anyone there. They had no friends, no neighbors they were close with. So who was he talking to at 3:30 in the morning? She got up and walked over very quietly. She could see that Michael was still standing there, and from his full body movements, it looked like someone was definitely standing in front of him. As soon as she pulled back the curtain, she saw that Michael was standing there alone. This seemed really strange to her. She asked Michael, "Who were you talking to out here? And at this hour?" Michael just smiled and went back inside. He didn't explain anything. Megan thought about this all day. She decided that as soon as Michael got home the next day, she would ask him about who he was talking to that night. Michael came home, but this time he came home early. Usually he came home a bit late, but today he came home around evening. He said, "I'm going to sleep now. I worked really hard today. I'm going to sleep. I have a bit of a headache, so I'm going to rest. It'll be better." Megan said, "Okay, fine. We'll talk later." Once again, Megan was sleeping, and in the middle of the night, she heard a sound that woke her up. She looked next to her. Her husband wasn't sleeping there. Michael wasn't there. She didn't look anywhere else, just toward the kitchen area to see if he was outside on the balcony. As soon as she looked, it was exactly his silhouette there. She could see his shadow on the curtain. She got up, went over there, and saw that once again, he was just standing there. Megan said, "What are you doing here again tonight?" And once again, the same thing happened. He said it was nothing to worry about, smiled, and went back inside. Megan was getting really worried, but she thought, "It's pretty late now. I'll just go to sleep." The next morning when they woke up, the first thing she noticed was Michael's face. There were dark circles under his eyes. His face looked like his body was melting from the inside. His whole body had turned yellowish, what you'd call sickly pale. She asked his parents, "What's happening to him?" His parents didn't understand either. Finally, she asked Michael after he woke up, "Are you okay?" His parents were standing there too. Michael said in front of everyone, "I'm perfectly fine. In fact, I'm better than ever since we came here." What had been happening occasionally was now happening every single night. Every night, her eyes would open, she'd look around, and she'd see Michael's silhouette there. This was happening every night. Megan was starting to feel really sorry for Michael. First, all that terrible stuff happened to him in LA, and now after coming here, his face is getting worse and worse. His body looks like something is eating him from the inside. And where does he go in the middle of the night? I don't have a problem with him getting up and going somewhere. But who is he talking to? I can't figure that out. I need to help this man. That night, when they were sleeping, Megan tied a string around Michael's hand and tied the other end to her own hand, so that when Michael got up, Megan would know. It was around 2 a.m. The whole family was in deep sleep. Everything was quiet, no sounds coming from anywhere. But then Megan's hand moved slightly. There was only one reason that could happen. If Michael got up. As soon as Megan looked at her hand, Michael was untying the string and heading outside. As soon as she saw him going toward the kitchen, she got up and grabbed Michael's hand. She said, "Today you're not going anywhere. Just come back here and sleep quietly." Michael said, "No, I have to go. It's very important that I go." Megan started yelling, "You don't need to go anywhere. Nothing is happening here tonight. You're going to come back here and sleep quietly." After hearing all this commotion, even his parents woke up asking what was happening in their house. Megan explained, "This happens every night. Between 2:30 and 3:30 a.m., Michael stands by that curtain in the kitchen and talks to someone who isn't visible. As soon as I get close to Michael, he stops talking and comes back inside to sleep. I don't know what shadow he's talking to. I still don't understand." Michael said, "No, right now I really need to go." Megan said, "You'll do exactly what you're told. Come back here and sleep quietly." Guys, Michael came back and slept next to Megan. This was the first time in days, since they had moved there, that he didn't go to that balcony. It felt really strange to Megan, but she was also very happy. But then a different kind of silence fell over the entire house. It felt like something was wrong, like someone was coming. At that moment, a very loud screaming sound came from inside their house. Megan's eyes immediately went to the kitchen area. She touched Michael's side. He was still sleeping right there next to her. So who else was screaming in the house? Her eyes went to the kitchen area, and there was a silhouette standing there. A woman was standing there who looked neither alive nor dead. Her face was completely disfigured. A stench was coming from her body. She was screaming, crying, pleading for something, suffering. And in that crying, screaming voice, she yelled, "Michael, why didn't you come meet me on the balcony today? I told you that I love you so much. You should have come. You should have come to meet me on the balcony today. Why didn't you come meet me?" And this wasn't something that only Megan and Michael heard. Even Michael's parents heard it. This scene was so horrifying, so terrifying, that they all ran away from there in the middle of the night. All four of them left everything, all their belongings, and fled in the middle of the night. Think about it, they only had their phones with them. They left all their money and everything else in the house and got out of there in the middle of the night. The next day, Michael's father contacted an imam and took him to a mosque where the religious leader held sessions. The whole family was there. As soon as the imam saw Michael, he said, "Looking at your son, I can tell he's no longer an ordinary human being. Wherever you're living, or wherever you've come from, there's a jinn following your son. She's become obsessed with him. She's gone crazy. She's fallen in love with him. And I'm telling you one thing, these jinn, these entities, they also love, they fall in love, they get married. And separating from them is very difficult. They have emotions too, but they won't want to separate from you themselves. Separating from them means getting close to only one thing, death. All these things can happen to your son." Megan heard all this and was terrified. She was thinking, "What has happened to my husband?" As they were just getting ready to go home, they ran into a neighbor who said, "Let me tell you the reason why we always keep our doors closed when your door is open. It's because a jinn lives in your house and she's not good at all. She doesn't want to see anyone happy. She doesn't want to see anyone happy, not even us. If she sees us, if she even glances toward our houses, even the plants and trees in our yards wither away. She's that cursed, that dangerous. And let me tell you something, Megan. Before you came here, another family used to live there. This jinn became obsessed with that husband too. But one day came when that man committed suicide in that very house. He took his own life. And you know when all this happened? One day before you moved into that house. One day before you moved there, that man died in that house. And the next day you moved in. And they also left their house in the middle of the night, just like you ran away in the middle of the night." When Megan learned all this, that this jinn wasn't going to leave Michael, she made a decision too. If she's not going to leave him, then I'm not going to leave him either. I'll stay with him whether death comes or not, whether death comes to him or not. I'll stay with him. Before this story ends, I want to tell you something. These jinn are extremely terrifying. Once you enter their territory, you become completely theirs. You have to surrender yourself to them because only they will decide whether you should be allowed to leave their territory or not. You can't leave their area without their permission. Jinn are extremely frightening. They're not like ordinary ghosts or spirits. This is the most dangerous entity in this world. You can't even face them. They can completely destroy your body from the inside. They have that much power. And these jinn exist everywhere. It's not like if someone died in a particular place, their spirit will wander there. Jinn are present everywhere. Maybe they're around me right now. Maybe they're around you too. Take a look around you right now. Thanks for watching.